They say the stones of the Great Pyramid had been whispering to the desert winds for over 4,500 years. But what if I told you those whispers aren't just echoes of the past, they are instructions for the future? Imagine this. A structure so perfectly aligned with the four cardinal directions that modern surveyors struggle to replicate its precision, even with lasers and satellites. Its base is so level that if you stretched it across an entire city, the difference in height would be less than the thickness of a human fingernail. This is not merely architecture. This is a message written in stone, a cosmic language of geometry, proportion, and alignment. For centuries, scholars, engineers, and mystics alike have stood before the Great Pyramid and asked the same burning question: why was it built with such perfect precision? Was it a tomb for a king, a machine for generating energy, or a spiritual device designed to align human consciousness with the laws of the universe? The truth is, its perfection is not an accident, nor is it simply a testament to human craftsmanship. Its proportions encode mathematical constants like pi and the golden ratio. Its placement mirrors the stars of Orion's belt. Its orientation to true north is so exact that it defies the primitive tools history tells us the builders had. This level of mastery cannot be explained away by coincidence or brute force. In this video, we will peel back the layers of time to reveal the deeper reason behind the Great Pyramid's flawless design. We will explore its symbolic and spiritual significance, the ancient philosophies that may have guided its creation, and the ways in which its geometry acts as a bridge between heaven and earth. But more than that, we will uncover what this ancient wonder can teach you about the architecture of your own life, your mind, and your spirit. Because the same laws that govern the stones of the pyramid govern the building blocks of your destiny. So let us step into the shadow of this timeless giant and listen, really listen, to the language it speaks. You may just discover that it has been waiting thousands of years for you. To understand why the Great Pyramid was built with such perfect precision, we must first step out of the mindset of modern history books and into the worldview of the ancients, a world where stone was not just stone, but a living embodiment of eternal principles. In today's narrative, the pyramid is often reduced to a marvel of engineering, constructed by the will of a pharaoh and the muscle of thousands of laborers. But to the people who conceived it, this was not a mere building, it was a cosmic diagram set in stone. Let's begin with the Egyptian concept of Ma'at, the divine order, the balance between chaos and harmony, between heaven and earth. Ma'at was not just a philosophical ideal, it was the very fabric of existence. To live in accordance with Ma'at was to ensure the stability of the cosmos itself. In this light, the Great Pyramid can be seen as a monumental offering to this universal balance. Its flawless symmetry and perfect alignment were not aesthetic choices, but a ritual act of anchoring divine order into the physical world. Ancient Egyptian priests were not simply temple functionaries. They were astronomers, mathematicians, and metaphysicians rolled into one. The stars were their scripture, and the earth was their altar. The positioning of the Great Pyramid aligns it with the cardinal points and reflects the heavens above, particularly the constellation Orion, associated with Osiris, the god of rebirth and cosmic resurrection. To them, building the pyramid was akin to creating a physical gateway through which the soul could ascend, guided by the map of the stars. Some esoteric traditions suggest that the pyramid was part of a much older lineage of world centers, sacred structures built in different epochs to maintain humanity's connection to higher realms.
The Great Pyramid, in this view, was not simply a tomb, but a harmonic resonator, a spiritual instrument tuned to the frequencies of the cosmos. Its dimensions, proportions, and angles encode not only terrestrial measurements, but also celestial ones, bridging human consciousness with the rhythms of the universe. Even its location holds mystery. The pyramid sits almost exactly at the geographic center of all landmass on Earth, as if deliberately placed to mark the heart of the planet. In ancient Hermetic thought, as above, so below, was more than a maxim. It was an instruction manual. To place something at the Earth's center, in perfect harmony with the stars, was to make it a reflection of the cosmic order itself. And so, the Great Pyramid becomes more than a wonder of the ancient world. It becomes a stone-bound philosophy, an eternal message that says, perfection in form creates harmony in spirit. Align yourself with the higher order, and you too become immortal. If we stop here, we might see the pyramid only as a relic of a lost worldview. But if we dig deeper, as we will in the next section, we uncover the first layer of its true function and why its builders believed such precision was not just important, but essential.
When we speak of the Great Pyramid's perfect precision, we're not merely marveling at the craftsmanship. We're looking at a design that appears to have been mathematically inevitable, as if it were dictated by the laws of the universe itself. Let's start with its orientation. The Great Pyramid is aligned to true north with an error of only a fraction of a degree, so precise that it remained the most accurate alignment of any structure on Earth until the 20th century. This isn't just impressive engineering. In the esoteric worldview, alignment to the cardinal directions represents alignment with the eternal forces that govern reality. North, south, east, and west were seen as the pillars of the material world, the frame within which all life plays out. To orient a structure so perfectly was to declare this place is in harmony with the very architecture of existence. Then there is the mathematical encoding. Its dimensions embed the golden ratio, pi, and even the circumference of the Earth, facts officially dismissed by orthodox archaeology but embraced by esoteric researchers. Imagine carving a mountain of stone to exact proportions that not only form a stable monument, but also encode the planet's dimensions thousands of years before modern science discovered them. This suggests a knowledge that transcended the time period, perhaps inherited from a civilization older than Egypt itself. One of the most compelling theories in mystical circles is that the pyramid was a frequency device, a structure designed to resonate with the Earth's natural vibrations. The internal chambers and passageways, far from being haphazard, act like the tuned cavities of a musical instrument. Some researchers believe that when the pyramid was complete, it could have amplified specific frequencies, creating a state of resonance that affected not just the structure, but the people within it. In ancient Egyptian metaphysics, sound was not mere noise. It was Heka, the creative power of the spoken word, the vibration through which the gods shaped reality. If the pyramid could focus and amplify certain frequencies, it might have been used in rituals to alter consciousness, heal, or even facilitate communication with higher realms. And let us not overlook the material itself. The outer casing stones, now mostly gone, were made of highly polished Tura limestone, which reflected sunlight so brilliantly that the pyramid would have gleamed like a star during the day. At night, under the moonlight, it would have radiated a pale glow. This dual nature, blazing in the day, glowing at night, symbolically united solar and lunar energies, masculine and feminine energies, the dual pillars of creation. To the initiated, every proportion, every angle, every polished surface was a mantra in stone, a silent prayer cast in geometry. This is why the builders had no tolerance for approximation. In the spiritual sciences, precision is not vanity, it is necessity. Just as a musical note out of tune disrupts a symphony, so too would even a small error disrupt the pyramid's intended resonance with the cosmos. In the next part, we will dive deeper into the second half of the explanation, exploring the pyramid's hidden functions, its connection to consciousness, and why its perfection may have been a tool for transforming human beings themselves.
If the first layer of the Great Pyramid's perfection lies in its geometry and physical alignment, the second layer resides in its function as a bridge between worlds, a structure designed to transform consciousness. Consider this. The internal passages are not random corridors. They follow a precise slope and spatial arrangement, leading from the base up toward the so-called King's Chamber, a room constructed entirely from massive blocks of red granite. This granite is rich in quartz crystal, a mineral known in modern science for its piezoelectric properties, the ability to convert mechanical pressure into electrical energy. When you combine the weight of the pyramid, the natural vibrations of the earth, and the quartz-rich granite, you begin to see why some researchers believe the pyramid was an ancient energy transducer, not in the crude sense of generating electricity for light bulbs, but as a device to amplify and refine subtle energies, the very lifeblood of spiritual work. The chamber's dimensions also conform to harmonic ratios found in music, architecture, and sacred art. To the ancient mind, such ratios were not arbitrary aesthetics, they were the mathematical fingerprints of creation itself. Being in such a space could have induced altered states of awareness, much like how chanting in a resonant cathedral can lift the human spirit beyond ordinary perception. Now, there is also the matter of stellar alignment. The narrow shafts extending from the king's and queen's chambers are angled not for ventilation, as mainstream Egyptology claims, but toward specific stars, most notably Orion's belt and Sirius. In Egyptian cosmology, Orion was linked to Osiris, the archetype of resurrection, while Sirius was connected to Isis, the divine mother and bringer of life. Through these alignments, the pyramid became a map of the soul's journey, from physical death through cosmic rebirth to union with the divine. This is why, in the esoteric perspective, precision mattered so profoundly. A shift of even a fraction of a degree in the shaft's alignment would change the target star, altering the symbolic and energetic purpose. The pyramid wasn't just a building, it was a calibrated initiation chamber, tuned to guide the initiate's consciousness toward a higher frequency. And here's where the mystery deepens. Initiation in ancient Egypt was not about learning dogma, it was about becoming aligned, literally and energetically, with the cosmic order. The initiate would enter the dark corridors, leaving behind the world of ordinary senses, and ascend toward the chamber of transformation. There, surrounded by perfect geometry, harmonic resonance, and cosmic alignment, they would undergo a symbolic death and rebirth, emerging with a consciousness that resonated with the eternal. Seen this way, the pyramid's flawless design was not a display of ego or technological prowess, it was the minimum requirement for a machine of consciousness to function. Anything less than perfect would have failed to bridge the gap between the human and the divine. In the next section, we will take these profound insights and translate them into practical applications, how the same principles behind the pyramid's precision can be used to shape your own life, your space, and even your inner state into alignment with the universal order.
The Great Pyramid's perfect precision is awe-inspiring. But if it remains only an ancient marvel to admire from a distance, we miss its greatest gift, its principle of alignment as a practical tool for our own lives. The builders understood something we often forget. Everything we construct, whether it's a building, a career, a relationship, or even a thought, carries the imprint of its design. Imperfection in form ripples outward into imperfection in function. Alignment in form creates harmony in effect. The Great Pyramid teaches us that precision is not rigidity. It's the disciplined tuning of your life to the laws of the cosmos. Aligning your outer world. Just as the pyramid is aligned to true north, begin by aligning your physical environment with your intentions. Your home, your workspace, your rituals. Each should be arranged to support clarity and focus. This could mean decluttering, orienting your desk toward natural light, or creating a small space for meditation aligned with a cardinal direction. In many traditions, facing east toward the rising sun symbolizes new beginnings and spiritual illumination. Embedding sacred proportions. The Great Pyramid embodies sacred ratios like the golden mean. You can bring these into your life through art, architecture, or even the timing of your activities. Try structuring your day in balanced cycles, work, rest, reflection, so that your life geometry reflects harmony rather than chaos. Nature thrives in proportion, so can you. Tuning your inner resonance. If the pyramid's chambers acted like resonators, then your mind and body are the same. What you expose yourself to, words, music, environments, vibrates through you. Choose sounds, mantras, and even conversations that uplift rather than distort your inner frequency. A simple practice. Spend 5 minutes each morning chanting or breathing in a steady rhythm. Notice how it alters your emotional tuning. Star mapping your goals. The shafts of the pyramid pointed toward specific stars, destinations for the soul. In your life, these stars are your highest goals or values. Write them down and ensure your daily actions point toward them with the same precision. Even small misalignments over time can lead far from your intended destination. Precision as a spiritual practice. The ancients did not settle for good enough when perfection was required. Adopt this in your own growth. Whether you're learning a skill, cultivating a relationship, or deepening meditation, approach it with deliberate care. Precision here doesn't mean obsession. It means conscious attention to what truly matters. The initiation of daily life. The journey through the pyramid's corridors mirrored the initiate's inner transformation. You can recreate this on a personal level by designing intentional passages in your life, moments where you step away from the noise and enter spaces, physical or mental, dedicated to renewal. A walk in nature, a silent hour before bed, or a weekly reflection ritual can serve as your own King's Chamber experience. Remember, the pyramid's perfection was not just a feat of engineering, it was a statement of values. It told the world, we will build in harmony with the eternal, or we will not build at all. You can adopt this standard for your own creations, physical, mental, and spiritual, so that they too stand the test of time. In the next section, we'll bring all of this together, leaving you with one final powerful message, a call to embody the same timeless precision in the architecture of your life.
The Great Pyramid stands in the desert like a frozen note in a timeless song, a structure so perfect, so deliberate, that even after thousands of years, it still humbles every eye that beholds it. Its flawless geometry, its celestial alignments, its resonance with both earth and sky, none of these were accidents. They were the conscious choices of people who understood that when you build in harmony with the eternal, your creation becomes immortal. We've explored how the pyramid's perfection wasn't simply about stone and mathematics, but about alignment with the cosmos, with the rhythms of the earth, and with the journey of the human soul. It was a bridge, a mirror, a resonator. And its real secret is that these principles aren't locked away in ancient Egypt. They are available to you right now. The lesson is clear. Whatever you are building, a dream, a relationship, a way of life, build it with the same care, precision, and reverence that the ancients gave to the pyramid. Align your actions with your deepest values. Let your goals point to your personal stars. Shape your inner and outer worlds so that they resonate in harmony. If you do, your life will not just be a fleeting collection of days. It will be a structure of meaning that stands unshaken by time, just as the Great Pyramid still stands against the desert winds. So the next time you see an image of that ancient monument, don't just admire its grandeur. Listen for its whisper. It is saying, perfection is possible when you build with the eternal in mind. Align yourself, and you too will stand forever. And perhaps that's why the Great Pyramid was built with perfect precision, not to preserve a pharaoh's memory, but to teach us how to preserve our own spirit in the architecture of eternity.